hopes no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Hello, everybody. How's it going today? I'm not going to spend too much time saying hello to everybody just because I have a feeling I'm on a tight schedule, unfortunately. But thanks, everybody, for being here. I saw Joe Neal pop in. Haven't seen you forever. Good to see you. Everybody else, thank you for being here. And somebody said something about Janice got permission for 20 milk cartons. That would be amazing. That's going back old school, but that's absolutely amazing. So before I get started, I noticed that my poll of the other day is getting a little bit of heat. Now, when you do a poll on a live stream, you're only given like 4 options. There are so many channels that I really wanted to include it, and I'll admit that the grouping was, I won't even say it wasn't perfect. It was not good. The plot of that poll was based on what I was covering in the live stream. It wasn't to say any one channel is putting out false information purposely. It was like, who do we really think is providing the most false information to we, the viewers, the public? And I had said, in my opinion, that, Anita is still at the top of that list. When I put the Monsters channel and AB and other people in that same first category, that was in no way lumping together as the same type. That was just, I didn't feel like they belonged, with shenanigans and that sort. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was a poorly written poll, and I apologize if people took it the wrong way. This was not my intention, but there's that. And sorry to hear about your teeth, Joe. I can't relate. I eat a lot of candy and I brush my teeth religiously. So, man, hope you're feeling better. And Ori too, I hope you're feeling better as well. So, okay, so sometimes you guys, I can't even call this tunnel vision because it blew my mind. I get emails from viewers, and sometimes the ideas, the talking points, they're just excellent. And sometimes people, they have really interesting speculation and observations and perceptions of what we're all seeing and hearing. But today, I got an email, and I'm not gonna. If you're watching right now, I do plan on responding. But it was almost mind-blowing that nobody that I've ever seen or heard picked up on this little point. And so let's do this. I don't even know how to get around to doing this because it's so in your face. Once you hear it, you won't unhear it, or once you see it, or once you think about it, you won't unthink about it. And it goes along with what we're doing here. We are actually going to the beginning. I don't want to watch Never a Truer Word. I don't know why I even have that open. We're going back to the beginning, and I said the next time we were going to watch some interviews, and we absolutely are. Where are my interviews? Oh, good Lord. I need to apologize for my hair. I washed my hair with this Amika Volumizing, I don't need that because my hair is absolutely massive today. So I had no choice but to. It wouldn't fit in the frame. I had to tie it up. So even my bun looks massive today. Okay. So we've all heard the timeline. I do not want to play Malehya's first video. And I, for the life of me, cannot find the soundbite where Daniel explains. When they explain, because remember there was a little bit of back and forth going on. Like Malehya said, I asked my partner, Daniel, do you hear the kids? And then Daniel said kind of the same thing. I asked Malehya, do you hear the kids? You know, we've all heard that over and over again, and just slightly different versions of it. But what the viewer emailed me about this morning was Daniel has said numerous times he did not know that Malehya was going to call the kids out of school that day. Right? He didn't know. He's also said numerous times that he didn't know what time it was when he woke up. And he said that when they first woke up, he just jumped up immediately and went out and searched the trailer and jumped in the car or whatnot. He did that. But the point is, why would Daniel think anything of it if the house was quiet, if he didn't know Malehya was calling the kids in sick to work or to school? Has anybody ever heard that point of view before or that observation before? Because I haven't. If he thought that the kids had gone to school, why would it be odd for the house to be quiet? Does that bother anybody else? Because it just went way over my head. Yeah, we've all heard it. But what does it matter? Like, where does that go? Like, if the kids were at school, wouldn't the house be quiet? Why was it an immediate panic for him? But you can't just lay this on him because Malehya was right there saying, I asked my partner, Daniel, do you hear the kids? Like, it's... When they ask one another, do you hear the kids? His response should have been, you didn't send them to school? Yeah. If in fact it was Malehya asking him, but he has said, let's pull this up. So, do y'all remember that podcast that came out? I think it's like in July of last year-ish. Let me find it here. For some reason, though, we only have sound bites, or not sound bites, transcripts of the sound bites. If I can even find it. Where'd it go? Just a sec. Just a minute. Here we go. I'm going to have to reopen it, I guess. Because let's actually read what he told the transcript. Share screen. The Current. It was called The Current. No Mercy, thank you for the poutine. I appreciate that. Hide the comment. But he didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't know that she had gotten up to call the kids out of school. He didn't know that she had gotten up to call her mother at 8:28. He claims that he was sleeping the entire time. He didn't know she got up at all. He didn't know. Anyway, let's find this. Let's find this one, and I will read it to you because, again, I cannot find the actual... It's the morning of Friday, May 2nd, so exactly 11 weeks ago today, and most of the information that we have about those first hours comes from the children's stepfather, Daniel Martel. I spoke with him in a recorded interview for nearly an hour, and he says he and the children's mother, Malehya Brooks Murray, were in bed with their other child, a baby, and they were sort of dozing in and out of sleep. Lily and Jack were playing in the kitchen, but Lily came into the bedroom multiple times and woke him up. And here's what he says happened next. And then about 20 minutes passed, and then I woke up. Malehya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lily and Jack. So I jumped straight out of bed. Silence is never a good thing when you have kids because you know they're getting into something. But if Malehya was still sleeping and he didn't know they'd been called out of school, silence is never good, but would it be that they were late for school, or would it be nudge Malehya to wake up? Why aren't the kids going to school? I digress. We didn't see them anywhere, and Malehya said, should I call 911? And I said, well, just wait 1 second. I ran up to the woods to the kids. They have cabins. I ran up in the woods to the kids. They have cabins in the woods. It's about, 100 feet up in the woods. Ran up there, ran right back down, which only took me like 30 seconds. And I was screaming for Lily and Jack, all the way out when I was running up to the cabins. And my mother heard me, so she came out and said, what's going on? And I said, Lily and Jack are missing. The part that never sat well with me, but he also said lying to the cops is a no-no, but lying to social media, Malehya said that. Hey, Joe Hunter, good to see you. Makes sense to me. She didn't get out of bed, so how would she have sent them to school? Right. It's crazy. Monsters Chaos, how's it going? Did he get a notification on his phone? Email? That's what he said later. Yeah. He got a notification, but he hadn't opened his email because when he woke up, the house was silent and they got scared. The kids were gone. But what made him think the kids were gone? If they were supposed to be at school, he didn't know they were being called out of school. One sec. Oh, come on. Yeah. And I mean, even if it was Malehya, isn't it? I don't know. It's odd to me. It's odd to me. No one has ever asked. I asked Daniel why she did, and he didn't know. Because she was nowhere near as... Lily was nowhere near as sick as she was before. Like, she didn't have a cough anymore. So... they must have talked before. How? They just wandered off into the woods somewhere in that 20-minute time frame where they said, like, I don't even... that part about the... whatever, the... I don't know. It's weird to me. Leakage is fake. Depends to though what the actual conversation between them was. Did she tell him earlier she wasn't sending the kids to school again? Not according to Daniel, Bonnie. He didn't know that the kids weren't going to school. And he didn't know that she woke up to do that. And he said that on my live stream before. He didn't know that she got up to make a phone call to her mom at 8:28. So, the redactments on those documents still blur out the time that they said that Lily was popping her head in and out of the house or the bedroom door. So we all, I think, assumed it was around 8 a.m. because that's when dispatch had said they were last seen. But 8 a.m. and 8:28 a.m., I mean, obviously, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, and this is just another one. She called him in sick at 6-ish. What happened in between 6-ish and 9:45? According to Daniel, he was fast asleep. And Malehya was fast asleep beside him. That's what they said. All pre-planned. Hello, everybody, hello. The time gap was apparently explained by them both drifting off during that time. But it still doesn't explain why Daniel says he did not know that Malehya called the kids in sick to school. But he woke up not hearing the kids, knowing there was something wrong. Instead, and no different to me than the Janie thing, right? What's up? Kids are missing. How long? Instead of, what do you mean they're missing? I just heard them. This one should have been, Malehya, wake up. Aren't the kids going to school? Something like that. No? I don't know. So, I don't know. If we want to go back to the beginning, we need to figure out Thursday first from the time they arrive back home, break out in 15-minute sections and really dig in. If we can get some clarity, how do we do that, Sing Birdie? How? Friday morning is farce. Why did Daniel tell Durwood that he only pretended to search for Jack and Lilly so Malehya didn't get into trouble? Did he say that? Still not 100%. Still a little bit queasy, but I'm right. Dispatch said, well, I think it said seen, but it wasn't like official or anything. It was just dispatch radio chatter. Morning routines. Daniel said the morning routines are that Malehya usually gets up and gets the kids ready for school, gets Meadow her breakfast and diaper and whatever. Or sorry, he stays in bed with Meadow because they like her to get as much sleep as possible. But Malehya always gets up with the kids to get them ready for school. So maybe he assumed Malehya didn't because she was still in bed. The Thursday is just so murky still to this day, and for it to have been the day that changed your entire life, to not have your memories back, to not have obsessed about every minute leading up to the last time you heard those kids, is bizarre. I'm sorry, I don't like it. How did Janie come out and say what's going on when she heard Daniel, when she said prior she thought Daniel was hollering because Jack was... Marie, exactly. And Janie said it was Malehya. She walked out because she heard Daniel yelling, and Malehya came out. Malehya was standing there with Meadow on her hip. She asked Malehya, what's up? Kids are missing. How long? She went back in, got her boots, and went up. But now this, Daniel said... cabins, and my mother heard me, so she came out and said, what's going on, and I said, you know, Lily and Jack are missing. Now, do I think that this is a purposeful lie? No, because this would have been a panic state, in my opinion, right? You're looking for the kids, they're not there. But if Daniel didn't know what time it was, wouldn't he just assume thank you, Seaweed, that's my point. Why wouldn't you just assume that the kids were in school? Why is it a big panic? Oh no, Ian's home. That's okay. We'll ignore him. I'm thinking it's a lot of holes in a badly thought out story. Yeah, for sure. Sounds like some people are fibbing. Do you think? I think they were both asleep, didn't want to look awful, and said they heard them when they didn't. Do you think Janie heard them? Mm-hmm. I thought for a second you gotta shave. My bad. I believe the entire morning scenario is okay. So let me just play a couple of news clips for you. I'm gonna use. I think I got a dog hair on my lip. That sucks. I'm gonna use the sound on the video because there's no music. I find when there's music or background noise in the video, that's what makes the sound come through so shitty. So I'm gonna try, because he's gonna, he's gonna want to babble for a minute. What are you doing? Just give me 1 second, please. I'll help you. Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to watch this entire thing, the whole minute and some odd seconds. Let me know if you have issues with your sound other than it being a little bit low.
So the officers and searchers on site are following up on anything that comes up that provides direction, provides specifics, and provides something that can be used to narrow the search. At this point, Lily and Jack are still considered missing children. Police are pursuing all investigative avenues, and there's a variety of teams involved who are applying the tools and the skills and the expertise needed to locate and bring Lily and Jack home. There's been an absolutely incredible turnout from the GSAR teams across the province here in partnership with the RCMP and other resources. I do know that there's been well over 100 every day. The outpouring of support from so many volunteers who've given up so much of their time to be here has been incredible, and I know it's been a great support to the police on scene with this goal that we all have. This is continuing to be a missing person investigation. At this point, we are still treating it as missing people, and our goal is still with the police on scene and the searchers on scene through the variety of GSAR teams. The goal continues to be to locate Lily and Jack and bring them home safe.
So that is obviously very, very early on.
So the officers and
May
searchers
6th.
on site are following up on anything that
Blah. Not exactly. Here are a number of interviews that I want to play, and I'm gonna do it my way this time, just because. But if you hear Ian tapping away on his keyboard, sorry, we'll try not to talk. Yeah, it was. The floor probably looks like a horse was galloping through water too. So. Yeah, he has a bucket of water. He doesn't even have a bowl of water. It's a bucket. I think the mentioning of the boots is notable. They were possibly worn Thursday. Who specifies or thinks if their shoes were when thinks of their shoe wear when going to search ASAP? Cindy did not confirm seeing Jack and Lilly on FaceTime on Thursday. Interesting. Very interesting. Everybody's saying hi, Ian. He says hi back. Okay. We're going to watch this for a little bit. We're not going to watch all the way to his long interviews, but see here, it's about 6 minutes in. All the small ones, the shorter ones leading up to those long interviews, we're gonna watch those right now. And hopefully the sound works okay. It should be. Let me know. But here we go.
Children were gone. Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as it could, and waited for the police to get there. And as soon as I noticed they weren't there, I immediately jumped right in the vehicle and surveyed all the area, every dirt road, every culvert that I could find. As soon as I seen they were missing, I jumped right in the vehicle and I did every dirt road and searched every culvert. The very first day I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends, not just brother and sister. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. So Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends, not just brother and sister. You know, they took their boots. That's pink boots for Lily, blue boots for Jack, with dinosaurs on them. Lily had her backpack with white strawberries on it. I imagine now if they're in the woods, that'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpacks. I don't see them keeping a pull-up one for that long after it got soaked from the very first day. We only found the 2 boot tracks outside of the house.
Whereabouts?
Ripstone, that's probably 10 feet away from the backyard.
In the backyard, okay.
Nothing new. The helicopter's still in the air, and they had dogs. They took dogs today, and as of last night, they had 8 more drones going on in infrared. I urge the public to come out if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to. We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day, we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can. Just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods. The heat being wet and cold. So they immediately came right back into the house. The only 2 prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it. Just waiting for him to come home. Hardly any evidence at all since the first day. It's mind-boggling that nothing else was found. The lack of RCMP in the area that I've seen.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? Scratchy. Ian's using the printer. This is why I need an office. So from what I can find, Jesse, a pen? You can use a Jack and Lilly pen. From what I can find, Jesse, I believe this one here, the rainy day one, is Daniel's first interview. If I'm wrong, somebody please send me his first interview. I could not find it. And yeah, the reason why the sound was messed up is because Ian's here and I didn't want to use my speaker because he was click-clacking on his computer, or I thought he would be, so you thought this was his first too? And he said not too long ago he had to carry Jack down to the trailer Thursday. He said that because I asked what his last memory of Jack was, because he didn't see him Friday morning, and that's what he said. He's taking him to the house from the car. Carrying him from the car to the house, sorry. So that scratch on his face, Sonny and I did look into that way, way back, because we were like, whoa, defensive wounds? But, so if you go back, if you search Daniel Martel on Facebook, his old profile will come up sometimes. You could look at pictures from like 2019, 2020, and I'm sure we can see that scar. So, I don't know. I've asked him many times to come up on panel, and I've told him his presence has been requested, but it's a no. It's a no. He made a comment yesterday that I won't repeat here, but no. It had to do with OnlyFans and coming up on panel and that kind of stuff, but no. This is the best we're going to get. He's working back there. Old scar, yes, Blue Jay. Crazy how it healed so good after the Friday, but it flares up once in a while. And I don't know, Captain, do you have any tattoos? I have a couple here and there, but sometimes they get irritated and the skin will rise a little bit, almost like, I don't know, it's odd, and nothing kind of triggers it. I'm sure there is, but it just sometimes like, and I've got a scar here. I had a mole removed, and sometimes it gets really red for no real reason. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what it is, but I'm saying there are other alternatives. But where was he carrying him down from? He should have carried him up to the trailer. Ask him if he knows the difference between up and down. Marie. The scratch on his face is where he scratches when he's tweaking. You can see in alter interview that it is red and more prominent again, and it comes and goes related to his meth use, in your opinion. That's a good one. Ian needs an office, not you. He has an office. It's called a Kenworth. Oh, come on. We've already seen his ass. He's ignoring you, Seaweed. Yeah. So, I mean, there's no real reason for it. Just once in a while, they get irritated and the skin feels a little bit raised, and it's, I don't know why. And I'm not on meth. I have no tattoos. I think it takes away from one's natural beauty. That's your opinion. My first tattoo does that too. For no reason. Like, I don't know. No, but like, for anybody that doesn't know, one time on my members live, Ian didn't realize how wide the camera frame was, and he was getting out of the shower and he backed up and people saw his butt. And then after that, people were bugging about Ian starting an OnlyFans. So I bug him about that once in a while. Did you get to nap on the boat? Nope, still in the driveway. I think this is probably why he won't come on, because He doesn't want to be nagged. My tattoos don't, but I have a vein in my head that pops out when people say Malehya is innocent. Just have him streak by. I don't ask for it. He just enjoys. He likes the attention. He doesn't admit to it, but he does. It's called fornication. It's amongst. Oh, yeah, but it happens to me, like in my scars, and I don't use drugs. So I don't know. But I have seen like drug users, they'll like pick their skin and stuff. Like, I don't know what that's about. Is that what you're talking about? My tattoo probably does that because it was done in some random basement in Truro. Fair. Which live was it so we can go watch it? It was a members only. And I believe, yes, it was, I think, I'll pull it up. I'll show it to you. I won't show you the video, but I'll show you. Anyway, my sleeve raises, gets bumpy and hot at least a few times a week. It's weird. Okay, so I wonder if usually carried Jack from the car. Obviously, Jack could walk. Was he sleeping? Or so it was Wednesday. They got home at 10 at night. So Thursday, I believe they got home just before 4 o'clock, I want to say. Maybe he was having a nap. I don't know. But that is what Daniel said was his last memory that he could remember at that time of Jack. I might scratch the area with it. I am always kind of... COVID was terrible for me because they said you couldn't touch your face. I didn't know what to do with my hands. Your neck scars get like that. I can't in good conscience. Like, I would have to search for it, and he could sue me, you know. So there is an article from May 2nd. Or sorry, May 3rd. So I'm going to read to you. I'm just going to read it to you. I think we knew for definite about the vehicle the night before, to be confirmed. Right, Marie? Poor Ian, he's not a piece of meat. He wishes he was a piece of meat. Countryside, good to see you. Okay. So, like I said, this is from May 3rd, 2025. And I think we can all agree that we are sick to death of watching Malehya's one and only interview, right? I don't want to watch it. Do you want to watch it? If you want to watch it, I'll find it. The mother of 2 children in Nova Scotia's Pictou County is pleading for their safe return. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were last seen on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station around 10 a.m. Friday. After 24 hours, the 2 still have not been found. We just want them home as soon as possible, said their mother, Malehya Brooks Murray. She told CTV News that when she woke up Friday, she heard them playing in the next room and she drifted back to sleep. She said they're not typically the type of kids who would go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them, and they happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens, and they just were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time, and the next thing we knew, it was quiet, said Brooks Murray. It's even worse in print. She said she and her partner Daniel then began looking for them. We get up and look outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them, and I instantly just called 911. I had the instinct. I needed to call. She told CTV News that there were footprints in the driveway leading toward the road Friday. She said people have searched every nook and cranny and said the two should have been found by now. That's interesting. We didn't see that, did we? Did we hear that from her in that interview? Last night was one of the worst nights because I did not have them in their beds, and I don't want to go another night without them. Still bizarre. One of the worst nights. Any information is needed because at this point we're scared and we don't know what to do, said Brooks Murray. Police described Lily Sullivan as having shoulder-length, light brown hair with bangs. The force said that she might be wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, and pink boots. Brooks Murray said she believes Lily has a white backpack with her. Jack Sullivan has short blondish hair and was wearing blue dinosaur boots. Police say no other clothing description is available at this time. There's an active search going on, and it has been since we got the call yesterday morning, said RCMP Corporal Sally Rice in an update on Saturday. Multiple agencies are taking part in the search, including ground search and rescue teams, the Civil Air Search and Rescue Association, Department of Natural Resources, Air Services, and several RCMP units. As of Saturday, around 150 people were helping in the search. Can anyone confirm, please, if Malehya called Cindy from the vehicle outside Home Depot or somewhere? Wasn't it outside of Acropole? I don't know. We need Justin Bullshit Boy. Bullshit? If you didn't know it at the time, how you know they were there, you nitwit? Yeah, sorry, I think Malehya only really noticed her phone screen most days. They are doing what is known as writing as foreshadowing. Interesting. Praying for Lily Mae and Jackie Boy. So she woke up at 6:15, so was that when she heard them? Yeah, good question, but I don't think so. I watched the court docs say that Cindy had a missed call from Malehya at 2:52 on Thursday, and that was the exact minute. The documents also say they left Lawton's. I thought Cindy called when they got home around 3:30. I don't know which one. And Jack was nude in boots and the pull-up. That's day one, Daniel's rap. Weird. When she heard them, why did she not get up and tell Jack and Lily they were not going to school? Good catch. Malehya had her alarm set to wake up at 6:15. Now, is that the normal time that they wake up to get the kids ready for school? Or was that a special alarm for some reason? The court documents say Cindy had a missed call from Malehya at 2:52 Thursday, the exact time they were leaving Lawton's. Only pull-up and rubber boots on day one made my heart stop when it became night, thinking Jack being cold. I was stuck watching Dinchi and you forgot. It's all good. Heard he dropped the bomb and everybody's like, yeah, so. It's not a big deal, Gren. Not like we thought. We were like, duh. But everybody else was like, good point. Let's move on. Okay, then. Anyways, it's all good. We don't have any clarity from any of the three adults about what they heard, just that they heard the kids in their room by the swings and Jack in the kitchen. What were they saying? Who was saying it? Right. And I've asked. Nothing. Hey, Pinky. Who, me? Listen. Never mind. I can't go in the bus. I own the bus. I drive the bus. I can't go to the back of the bus. It was a script. It's starting to seem that way to me, like, right? So this one is May the 6th. Police still believe that the siblings wandered away from their home and say there's no information to suggest they were abducted. However, the children's stepfather is starting to think otherwise. Hardly any evidence at all. Since the first day, it's mind-boggling that nothing else was found. Martel has been dating the children's mother for 3 years, and they have an 18-month-old together. Martel says Lily and Jack never go into the woods by themselves. He describes them as vulnerable and autistic. We never cross the road. We have cabins we built up in the woods, and that's where, usually, as far as we take them, he says. Martel says he and Malehya Brooks Murray asked Lily and Jack to quiet down on Friday morning to let the baby sleep. We were in the room laying down, me, Malehya, and the baby, and Lily poked her head in a couple of times. I seen that she's wearing a pink t-shirt, and we usually don't like them to be too loud because they were going to wake up the baby, and we want the baby to get as much sleep as possible. He estimates it took up to 20 minutes to notice the two children were gone. She went out of the room, and I could hear Jack out in the kitchen. A few minutes went by. I heard nothing. Got up, went out to the kitchen, checked everything. I seen they weren't there. I checked their bedrooms, and they weren't there. Did he ask Malehya, did the kids go to school? Huh? She turned on the TV to drown the kids out. I think so. I think that's a very distinct possibility, Grey Wolf. Oh, Joe needs to go on the bus? Shocking. I think I will get on the bus and wave at an Oilers flag just because I'm in that mood. Well, then we'll be setting that bus on fire, saying, sorry, there was a typo in the last message. I had tried to remove it and type it right. The video call was at 3:37. Thank you. You want to know what was burned in that wood stove? That script. Turns on TV. How the hell would you hear anything in the kitchen? Yeah, hey Sharon, how have you been? And Ben, thanks for being here. Just that if Daniel didn't know, which he's said many times, that Malehya was going to call the kids out of school, he didn't find out until he opened his email later on. And he woke up and the house was silent. What's the big deal? Why didn't he just assume the kids were at school? Unless it's true that Malehya had woke up first and said, I don't hear the kids. But we've heard both. So, I don't know. Good question. She took the baby in her bed and turned the TV on for her. Did she lay the baby in bed, turn the TV, and go back to sleep? That's what it sounds like to me. But like when? Because Lily was poking her head in and out sometime between 8 and 9, and Malehya was awake at 8:28 trying to call her mom. Do you want to be blocked? From now on, the word Oilers is code for block me, please. I warned you. It's a touchy subject with me. Baby wouldn't have fell asleep that fast. I agree. And who in their, I don't know, who in their life has ever taken their toddler to bed with them in the morning just hoping to get a few more minutes sleep? So you turn on the TV, give them a bottle. Hopefully they stay occupied, but it usually lasts for 5-10 minutes before they're pulling your hair, tugging your nose, crawling all over you. I call it bullshit, and I have since day one. If I'm in bed with my partner and I don't hear my kids, I'm not waking up my spouse and I don't hear the kids. I'm just going to get up and look. It doesn't make sense. None of it does. None of it does. And if we're going to look at everything, we have to look at everything, not just one side or the other. If TV was turned on, that defeats the whole purpose of it being quiet for baby. Like I said, the TV was probably turned on for the baby so that they could sleep. You don't hear the kids, you get the hell up and go looking to see where they are. You don't wake your partner up to ask if he hears them. Bye. Why? Okay, I'll see you as soon as you get back. I'll take my regular. Thank you.
You'll take what?
Well, I haven't had time to go
Take your regular.
ice cap or nothing.
You haven't even got your ice cap.
Nothing.
So you're saying I have to stop taking ice cap.
That would be nice. Thank you.
Okay, I won't be back till 7. So.
What? Why?
Because I got things to do. I gotta go sit at the Marina Bar and have a beer and some wings. Not my fault. I want to stay inside where things are cold. Bye. Love you.
Yeah, if he does that, he's divorced. Anyway. Sounds like they both wanted a sleep and put the TV on to keep the baby occupied. Yep. Let's compete who can block him first, mods. If they always made sure they went outside with them, why not this morning? I call BS. And that's where this all started, right? No one knows because she said she woke him and he said he woke her. Then it was Malehya with Meadow. Then it was Daniel with Meadow. He didn't know what Malehya was doing. Who fucking knows, right? And whose word do we take? I've got an idea. Let's look at the court docs and see what they told the police. Actually, first though, I want to continue doing what we were doing now. Ian's gone. I can actually play this entire thing with decent sound this time because we're starting over. We're watching stuff. So I gotta make sure it's gonna play. Last time it didn't even try to play through my big speaker, so let me just make sure. I think it's gonna play. Hopefully this works. Ready? Let me make it big. Like 3.5 minutes long. It's not painful.
In other news today, the search continues this morning for 2 missing children in rural Nova Scotia. Crews have been combing through the woods around Pictou County since Friday when police believe they wandered away from their home. Brett Ruskin is live in Halifax. He's picking up the story for us this morning. Where do things stand today, Brett, with the search efforts?
Good morning, Heather. Yeah, search efforts are continuing this morning for these 2 missing children here in Nova Scotia. So we have 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. They went missing on Friday morning. Now, we heard from the children's stepfather recently. Here's what he had to say about this situation.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone. Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
So again, this search began with family members and has now expanded to dozens of search and rescue volunteers. About 160 people were on the ground yesterday. There were dogs brought in to try to catch a scent of these two children. There were 8 drone units in the skies searching, as well as a couple of helicopters as well, each one of them equipped with infrared sensors and cameras looking for these children. Now, we heard from police talking about some of the challenging conditions and logistical issues that they are running into with this situation, with the kind of the situation on the ground. Here's what police had to say about this search.
With the wet weather, it makes things a little more complicated for our searchers. Given they're in the woods, it's wet, things are slippery, footing's not the greatest. It's the water's it's not the best, but they're still trudging through and they're still working hard at doing the job that they have to do.
Again, we know that 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan went missing on Friday morning. That is when this search began and when the family reported them missing. And again, the search has been ongoing since that time. Heather.
Brett, I'm sure people following the story closely, those who are...
Melissa, how the heck did I forget about that? Let me mute this for a second. We will continue in a second, but that is the Nissan Pathfinder. Where's the plate? She went on Wednesday to get the plate. And Daniel had said they towed it because it was in their way. Where's the plate? Okay. Thanks, Gren. I'm going to continue playing this. From that point, just, where's the plate? Put in the front window, the temporary plates. Well, let's see the front of that car, because people that pointed this out to me, Stop with the Bullcrap, are from Nova Scotia, so you would think that they would know this. So Wednesday was what? The 30th of April. And this was on the 5th of May. So 5 days, no plate on that car. I'm going to continue and check my DM.
Doing the job that they have to do.
Again, we know that 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan went missing on Friday morning. That is when this search...
Just real quick, Pinky. They didn't. It was towed. Maybe that's why it was towed. I don't know.
Began and when the family reported them missing. And again, the search has been ongoing since that time. Heather.
Brett, I'm sure people following the story closely, those who are close at hand in terms of proximity, what can people do if they're trying and hoping to help?
Yeah, folks might think that, hey, I live nearby, I could hop in the car and go and search through the woods. I can help out as well, but that's not necessarily what officials want. They say this is a very coordinated, very organized search. They know where each one of the crews are. They know the areas that have been searched already and the areas that they are now focusing on. So advising residents to not just drive out and try to help out with the search on their own in the woods. One thing that people can help with is searching their own properties, looking in ditches, culverts, sheds, or any other possible hiding area that these kids, that these children may have used for shelter. That is how people can help. And again, we know that the temperature has dropped a little bit overnight, but we haven't seen below 0 temperatures. So again, these search efforts are continuing now, beginning their 4th day of searching. Heather.
Brett, that's important information. Thank you so very much. Brett going to be keeping us right up to date on the ongoing search.
Okay, just reading, you guys trying to keep up. You can get temporary plates through... Where am I? Good enough. You can get temporary plates through like a piece of paper. I think you're allowed to have 2 or 3 of them before you have to fort? What? I don't know what that means, but it's 100% why it was towed. You cannot drive a vehicle with no plate. You can't do that anywhere. But why get a temporary sticker if she was going to get it legal? She would have got a temporary permit from the dealer when Patty bought it, and it doesn't expire for a month. We have no idea when she got the car. Wouldn't they just transfer the old plate from the previous vehicle onto the new Nissan? So no need for a temporary plate paper on front window. But you get the temporary. I mean that works the same way in BC and Alberta. You have a temporary from the dealer, and then you have 14 days in Alberta to go and get your plate, and you don't wait for your plate when you go to the DMV. You show proof of insurance and you get your license plate. So if nothing else, they could get a ticket for driving with no plate. Do better. I think they had other things on their mind, baby monkey. Temporary plate could be in rear passenger side window. But once you go to the DMV, they've got the plates there. You're not waiting for... She went to the DMV on the Wednesday, on the 30th. She would have got her plate. Pinky, why would he get other vehicles stuck in the mud or somewhere? Was it that one legal because he said it wouldn't pass inspection? Cadaver dogs can smell if there was an unalive body at any time afterwards. The body immediately releases certain gases and loses control of all bodily functions. Yep. Temporary permits go on the front window in Ontario. Not sure about Nova Scotia. But they're only good for a certain amount of time. But we don't know when Patty bought the vehicle. Fair. But she went into the DMV. She took Meadow and they went to the DMV. Daniel stayed at Patty's with Jack and Lilly. You go to the DMV to get your plate, not a temp. Because if that's the case, how'd they get it to Patty's with no temporary or no plate? Like, the vehicle was Malehya's. She would need her own plate. She cannot just take Daniel's plate and put it on her vehicle. That's true. But you can go in and well, that's true. She would get her own plate. She went into the DMV. She would get her own plate. Some people do put it in the back window. If it is dark, you put it in the front window. It has to be visible. But that's just inviting a cop to pull you over, is it not? They pull up behind you and they don't see a temporary sticker or plate or permit or whatever. You're getting pulled over. Temporary paper plates only last 30 days. There was no old vehicle that we're aware of. It was used. 2017, I believe. Daniel has said that numerous times. Nothing nefarious with the missing plate on a new car. Just a question, cool. Just a question. Who was the car dealer that Malehya? So I did look into that, and the person I think is connected to Cindy Murray, but I mean that doesn't mean much. And actually, I want to say actually not related, maybe related to Patty, the owner of that dealership. We talked about it on a different live stream. Same in Nova Scotia. Unless you buy a temporary plate, you can buy 2 temporary plates. But why? I don't know. It was just an observation, and I thought a damn good one. So the dogs would not smell the cadavers unless they were in the home for a while. Yeah. $300. For what? Do you guys do insurance and registration all at the same time? Like our plates cost like, I want to say like $120 a year. But insurance is separate. And that's where they get you. And you can't get a plate without insurance. I thought she had the car about 2 weeks, but I could be wrong. If so, the temporary wouldn't have been expired. Temps go on the front in Nova Scotia and would be able to see that in the pic if it was on the back. Maybe she went to the DMV to register it but couldn't afford the actual plates at that time. In Nova Scotia, temporary plates go on the side window here in Nova Scotia. Just didn't put it on yet. Temporary permit good for 30 days. Nothing nefarious. It was a newly acquired vehicle, 2017 white Nissan Pathfinder. Yeah, we know. Want me to answer you again? Probably not. I'm just behind in chat. Oh, look. Exposing true crime. Interesting. Yes. But it's paper, so if it's in the back window and not visible, you'll get pulled over. She had Patty's card, though. I would think the cost wouldn't concern her since it was Patty's money. Also, if overdosed, there would get signs before they just passed, so could have moved them while convulsing. That's graphic. That's the same guy. That's the same place. I just got a new car from Amherst Nissan, and then they put a temporary sticker in the front windshield passenger side. I don't know why they're avoiding truth, but they definitely had a script. Don't understand motive for protecting each other. Don't understand how he was able to crush a car that was on the property at a relevant time. I'm sorry, but Nova Scotia law enforcement is disgusting. They've messed up. Ninchi said biggest meth exporter in the world is Canada, coming out of Nova Scotia. What's happened to our beautiful Canada? I don't know where she got those stats from. Every 2 years. We can do 2 years too, but still, $300 just seems like a bit much for a plate. Cash grab. So sick of the economy. Agreed. Must be placed on the inside of the lower right-hand corner of the front windshield so it's clearly visible from the outside. $228. $187. Are your DMVs franchised? Because they could have a surcharge. Ours are franchised in Alberta. When did she get the Nissan? We're not sure. Didn't have to be towed. They had it towed because she never moved it off the side of the road. And from how I understand it, Daniel was always out busy searching. His wallet and stuff was still in the Nissan when they towed it. So, like, why he didn't just move it is beyond me. Like, maybe she took the keys. I don't know. If Malehya had native status, would she not have to pay tax on any new vehicle? Anyone check that tax status? That's an interesting observation too, because, yeah. I just got the renewal notice, and it's $221.70 to register my Honda. Wow. Oh, they go by weight, and my car is small. I only pay $176 every 2 years, but our truck is $228. Gotcha. Maybe it didn't pass inspection for tags, and she waited too long to get it legal. No, it was 2017. It was bought off of a lot, so they can't sell you a car that won't pass inspection off a lot. You've done the good shit too. I thought I was the only one here in this chat. You are. You're all alone, Joe. A boy died in the U.S. in hotel room. He was hungry and thought it was cereal and ate it. The dad wouldn't call 911 and he died. Terrible. I would have drove it wherever she needed it to go and not give anyone a chance to add things, remove things, or straight up damage anything, especially if that was my friend's only method. Oh, if it was delivered to First Nations land? That's interesting. RCMP officer from Bible Hill got caught using someone else's tax card to avoid tax on new vehicles. I remember that case. Wow. That sounds illegal. Can't be sovereign and dependent at the same time. No, the one he used to search, he said, honest to God, someone must remember him saying this. What are you talking about? Daniel got in the Nissan and searched up to Lirg and all that. That was in the Nissan, wasn't it? If you do have experience, I value your opinion. I fully believe this is what happened, but I don't have experience, just what I study. Yeah, he used Malehya's car. Officer Lamb was the cop's name that was caught. Not cool, Officer Lamb. You're supposed to set an example for integrity, is what it is, though. We watched that one. I think we watched that one. And then this was from last month. We'll get there. So, that's the rumor. Yeah, that's the rumor. She's saying that Daniel said the Nissan broke down and that's why it was towed. I've never heard that. Not once. No, I heard it was towed. Daniel said that it was towed because it was in their way. It was parked out on the road and they were sick to death of going around it. Having to work around that Nissan. But why didn't she take it? Or why didn't like Cheryl drive it or Cindy drive it or somebody else that was there leaving with Malehya? Why didn't they bring her car with her? It's weird. I don't get it. Especially a new car like that, knowing that you're going to need your vehicle. Why would you leave it there? don't know. Is that the, what's it called? Can't think of the, but that's the truth serum stuff. The, what was that experiment called, you guys? It was towed because it was in the way. Yes. I'm saying what Daniel said about it breaking down after he used it. I'm sure that was a different vehicle. I think it was towed because it didn't have a plate. Like, she couldn't very well get in a vehicle without a plate and drive away with cops everywhere. It doesn't matter. I mean, that just shows me that there was some kind of almost panicked exit out of there, because that would be one of the first things I thought of. She didn't take, like, a lot of her belongings. According to Daniel, a lot of them were gone. You know, she took some of the baby stuff, but she wanted to leave, like, right then and there. And nobody thought to grab her new vehicle. It's weird. It was a chaotic time, as you may surmise. The children are gone, so lots of uncertainty and not much thinking straight. I'll say, when the mother left, that doesn't sound like a rational decision, but then she left her car, and like, Patty was there and Cindy was there. Did nobody say, what about your car? Or, here, Cheryl, drive the car, or something? No? I don't get it. Often wonder if day before, on way home, if kids got kicked out of the car and told to walk. Mean. MK Ultra, that's what I'm thinking of. It's the lab made stuff. Plant extract. Is that the mind control plant? What are you talking about, Sing Birdie? Topic of a chop shop, an altered VIN has been mentioned before. Really? But with that, Robert, not to do with the Nissan though, right? Because it was the Amherst dealership that that Patty purchased the car from, right? They wanted to get her out of there before her and baby M ended up. Big Mac, thank you so much. That's very nice. There were cops crawling all over everywhere. What? That seems a little dramatic. Cool. Huh. I think that's dramatic cool. I do. Stolen vehicles connected to people in Lansdowne, like, are we going towards like Eli or other people? What if, and we talked a little bit about culverts yesterday. My whole point with that discussion was that even though there's no interconnecting like utility lines or anything like that, but I started thinking more about it last night. Are there any longer culverts where the children could have went into and gotten a situation they couldn't get out of? I don't know, you guys. If it were my children, I'd be screaming. Me too. No, they give you a sticker to apply on the plate. T means temporary. Thank you, Joe. I hope you're feeling better. It is A little better. Still not, you know. On the way home, we'll tune in then. Are we hour and 20? Again, I'm not going to be on for too terribly long. I just wanted to bring that stuff to you. But there is more. There's more. But wait, there's more. There always is. I mean, we want to be fair, but to be fair, we're all biased at this point, right? We can sit here and say that we're fighting for truth and transparency, and we're trying to be unbiased, but how can we? Because we're all human and we all hear the same information. It's just different. We take things different ways. And I always say it blows my mind how I can hear one thing and somebody else can hear something else and take it two completely different ways. So, Debbie, another 1,000 joules? Thank you. That's cool. I appreciate that. Might be dramatic, but quite possibly their mindset. Wade said he immediately had thought on what happened before they even got there. Yeah. And I'm not saying I don't believe Wade, but everybody thinks Wade is like some kind of a hero for talking to Tint. Do you guys think that whole thing was a setup, that Wade knew he was being recorded? I don't. But like, how does that make one a hero when you're just kind of venting to a total stranger and talking smack about your girlfriend's daughter? You know, like, is he a hero? I don't know. Thank you, Anastasia. I don't know what's going on. Just a little bit nauseous. That's all. Yesterday, twice I thought I was going to throw up during the live stream. Twice. And today I had some carrots and stuff before I came on, so. I was going to. Malehya, Daniel, and baby all stayed together at home the first night. Does anyone know if anyone else stayed there that night? I heard Patty did, didn't she? Sorry, I'm reading something. I don't like it. Yeah, the only culvert that was bigger in that area was a square boxed culvert that led into the creek just before Lansdowne Station Road, and it was checked all the way through routes. I don't know. Trying to think of any possible scenario that doesn't include nefarious actions by one or more people on the property. You know what I mean? Like, we can even talk about the good possibility that Lily was feeling better. She wanted to go to school. She was popping her head in and out in that morning, trying to figure out, are we going to school? Are you getting up? Are we going to school? Like, who knows? But maybe she thought, I'm going to let mommy sleep. And maybe she thought she was going to get Jack dressed. And maybe she grabbed her favorite little backpack instead of her school backpack, put their boots on, and off to catch the school bus. Who's to say that didn't happen? I mean, obviously, I think law enforcement, but the school bus had already come and gone. You know, I don't know. What is most important is what happened to Lily and Jack and who was involved. They did not wander into the woods. I agree. The longest local culvert pipe is under the Gairloch Road at the Lansdowne Station Junction, well searched. It's just 6 feet. Never mind. That's nowhere near long enough to actually get somebody lost. That's why there's a jury. Everyone sees and hears things differently. I wouldn't call that truth serum. Truth hurts. Wade's full of shit. Ben, thank you. Oh, that's nice, Sharon. Congratulations, little mama. Maybe he feels guilty for not saying anything earlier. Do you think? I don't. Maybe he feels guilty for not reporting. But what was the purpose of that home video? A lot of people say it was for CPS. Like, I don't know. That's so frustrating that we don't know. Maybe no one wanted nothing to do with Carr just in case. Wade is not a hero, but I don't think he was lying. He was just giving his insight from an inside perspective. Do you think there might have been some exaggeration there too? Just for the record, Janice put the stickers on slush cups at the Petro, not milk cartons. That's amazing. It's still amazing. It's a really, really great idea, Janice. Yeah, those patches, but it also comes in an injection. Were you guys talking about fentanyl patches? Cool J, where would he have gotten that insight from, I wonder? Didn't he only meet him a few times? Wade didn't confirm he's seen hitting the kids. He didn't say the kids told him or Cindy. If the kids went out for the bus, someone could have picked them up, offering them a ride to school, especially if it was someone the kids knew. That's my thought, monsters. That is my thought. It's possible. And I want to know, because we heard the officer with the Parker case, he explained at the very end after Parker was found that, you know what, we didn't see, anytime we saw Parker, he was walking by himself. He was walking freely. There didn't appear to be anybody following him. So I understand that. And that's kind of how they do their assessment of the information. But what do they have that leads them to say to the public, we have no reason to believe they were abducted? Is it still possible that they weren't? If it is, then to me, law enforcement should have come out and clarified that. Because people literally stopped looking for 2 live children at some point. And if they had been abducted, they could have been on the other side of the country before that search in the woods ended. I think if that happened, Lily would have made sure Jack had pants on. We don't know that he didn't have pants on. Did we not? And yes, in the Please Bring Me Home flyer, the latest search they handed out, they were looking for Under Armour black sweatpants of Jack's and some shirt that they discovered were not amongst Jack's clothing. So they think he might have been wearing that stuff. You know? No, not at all. But maybe it was like maybe it was like a surveillance video just to see that they were keeping up with what they were supposed to do for, like, I don't know. Wade was gossiping, not giving testimony. Giving the truth as he sees it. He don't make it up out of nowhere. Some exaggerating. I agree. I wonder if Wade did come out and made a report to the RCMP. They were probably all questioned. I think we saw in the documents that Wade did a poly. Belinda, good to see you. If it is thought they went to school, how does that allow for so many changing stories with no straight answers from either one? Finger pointing, Belinda, and I'm not saying that's what's going on, but if you are so sure that Daniel did something, then things are going to get twisted, and you're going to, manipulate the timeline to make him look guilty, and vice versa. If you are so sure that Cindy or Malehya did something, then, and from what I saw back then, and I was watching a lot of chats and stuff, and Daniel would pop in, Sonny would call him whack-a-mole, but it was almost like he was trying to get ahead of something every day. It was like he would say something and then realize, okay, well, that doesn't solve that, so I got to add this, and then it would create so many other gaps elsewhere that it was so hard for them to keep doing that. I mean, I can see it. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying that I can see that happening. Just say for a second, just imagination, a terrible imagination right now, that if the kids wandered off into the woods and there's no evidence, and it is the most bizarre case of a child wandering off into the woods that we have ever heard of, ever, but there's no evidence. Finger pointing starts, and we're still here. The same shit has been going on for well over a year. And in reality, we have no idea. We know for a fact that they should have got up with the kids. This is their fault, 100%. No arguing that point. But where Jack and Lilly are now is debatable, simply because there's no evidence that we know of that they were abducted. There's no evidence that we know of that they were killed, or that they were given away or rehomed or being hidden. There's no evidence of any of that, because if there was, we wouldn't be here. We would have answers, and the RCMP would have answers. That's just my opinion on it. Love when I start ranting. Yeah, it's in the documents that Wade was, I think Wade and Cody, if I'm not mistaken, are the only two that use the word past in the polygraph section, and then the rest of them were truthful when answering redacted. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. I don't know. We have all heard Wade on voice video. No one can deny that. It was plain and simple. He said his own perspective. He lived there. He would know. No one can deny it, no matter how hard you want to try. Wade said the things that he said. People say a lot of shit, especially to a stranger who you don't think you're going to, come in contact with again. You know what I mean? And maybe didn't have a full grasp of this YouTube world or true crime community. I don't think any of them knew. And even, you can ask Belinda, nobody knew what they were stepping into with this community. I don't think that's true that Cindy and Wade don't care. The candid video with the kids in the orchard shows he cared about them. I 100% agree with you, Kuhl, and I think we're alone in that. Because most people think that 3 people on the property, so all 3 must know, but I would argue that any one of them would have no reason to protect the other at this point. It's rumored that CBC was at Cheryl's earlier this week. Maybe we will get an update of some sort soon. What's the date today? What would be the purpose? Is there any milestone coming up? It's so sad. Oh, good point. At that point, absolutely, Anita was in his ear. Yeah, good point. I believe the children could have been picked up. It was Daniel and Malehya's statement and behaviors that led me to believe differently. I think with everybody. Yes, but why not just plead for help from day one? Not say we're filled with pain and sorrow. You're reading my mail, Belinda. That's why we are where we are. And then to not follow that up with any more advocating for your children, I think it just didn't help. Yeah, but she was still Wade's friend, Baby Monkey. That was the point. They were definitely talking back then. Anita supposedly was watching Meadow. So, yeah, absolutely. That was an excellent point. Belinda, the changing stories could be guilty conscience. CPS already visited them. Just scrambling, thinking they are here, there, everywhere. I agree. Covering up. We're not bad parents. We did nothing wrong. Still to this day, won't take accountability. Right? They asked for an Amber Alert. Some people need to stop listening to some of the crazy YouTubers. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair. As long as they're talking about the case and speculating and throwing, talking points and theories out there, keep the conversation going, I think that the conversation is good. Asking for an Amber Alert early on, to me, does show that probably Malehya doesn't know what happened to the kids, but at some point, very early on, she started side-eyeing Daniel. And fast forward, here we are today. And the same thing, Malehya took off from the property and never looked back, blocked Daniel. And so Daniel started side-eyeing Malehya. And here we are today. And it could have nothing to do with either one. It could. It could. I could be wrong. But I could be right. Regardless of what happened. 2 children vanished. That's right. They're responsible. They are guilty of neglecting those children May 2nd, 2025. At the very least. Truthful and pass for Cody and Wade. Thank you, Seaweed. Yeah, how can you be so sure, Baby Monkey? They were best friends, remember? They grew up together. You bet your bippy they were talking to each other the whole time. Of course they were. Before Easter, how long was it? I don't know. The way the polygraph stuff was written in the documents was something. Not nothing, guaranteed. I agree. 100%. I think it was a huge red flag to every single person, except the people who defend that decision. And maybe she had good reason, but again, I will never understand nor agree with not advocating or being a voice for your children. And if you can't do it, then I will never understand nor agree with her mother not stepping in and doing it for her, because that's what we do. We protect our children. A lot of times, Amy, they're worse than women. Have you ever sat in like a lunchroom with a bunch of men and just shut up and listen? I have. There was things Wade said that were on a fake bullshit video that was getting a bunch of shit wrong. Either he was watching it or Anita was filling his ear with it. Interesting. I'll tell you why no charges yet, because if you look at the Canadian Criminal Code, the potential punishment for neglect without proof of negligence, death, or however you want to put it, it's not enough to hold them accountable. And the RCMP probably want to keep them happy, keep them comfortable, keep them talking to them. Once you charge them with something, it's over. That's just my opinion. Cindy was telling Malehya to ask for an Amber Alert. Fair. I do believe I read that. Today they are on the same page saying they believe the children are alive. Then what are they in the woods looking for then? I call bullshit. Sorry. Like, what are you looking for then when you go out on your searches? What are you looking for if you believe the children are alive? It's crap. It's crap, crap, crap. Has Malehya said specifically that she believed they are still alive? Very important question. Yeah, that's kind of a mix on words though, isn't it? I mean, that can be in the same form that Parker was returned to his family. And remaining hopeful is what everybody says. I don't. I say it's good to have hope. This isn't what I heard from Malehya's friends. It sounded more like they want to keep hope to me, which any parent would and should. Absolutely. But again, and I never said any different, you guys, that if I was the mother of missing children who had been missing for over a year, I would not want to be in the woods searching for their remains. Because if I found them, I would be devastated. However, you would not stop me from talking about my children, from spreading information, for sharing information, missing persons posters, because if you're going to keep hope, then the hope has to be more than just sitting back and doing whatever. What's bullshit, Belinda? Explain that, please. And I do know that I put that up and my mod's probably already deleted it, but I need to memorialize things like that. That's why I pulled it up. After 2 weeks of extensive searching and interviews, RCMP requests phone data. Since then, only close family and neighbors polygraphed, and then after even more time investigating, request DNA. Dress up your cussy words. You can cuss all you want, but we're not accusing anybody of anything. If you can't act like an adult, you can go away. Yeah, Mr. Hemi, if we wish, we could, in the minds of the RCMP, it's been 15 months. If I thought my children were out there, I'd address them, whoever I thought had them. Just the slightest chance that they might see the TV, might see their mother or their grandmother or somebody on TV looking for them, searching for them, pleading for them, loving them, missing them, anything. I don't know. I gotta go ahead and play. I'm gonna play this one because it's a little bit longer, but I have to go. It is so smoky here today, you guys. It's not even fit. So I have to go get Harley in the house before he, has a doggy stroke. Because he's barking a lot and I can tell he's getting worked up. So I'm going to go drag him in the house, okay? Replay. I watched this already myself, but...
Why did I choose a .ca domain?
for Pete's
My
sake.
business is Canadian.
My customers are Canadian.
Canada's not just where I work. It's who I am.
Everyone's welcome here.
Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I gotta go get Harley. So you gotta watch the ads.
Canadian lumber.
Canadian ingredients.
Canadian code.
Canadian domain. That's why I choose .ca.
Canada is our business.
Our business. And .ca is our domain.
Take a look. In this fast, all-electric SUV, you're the one who gets charged up. Connected, spacious, and ready for long road trips. The Ford Mustang Mach-E. It's time to see Ford in a new light.
My customers are Canadian.
My business is Canadian.
That's why I choose .ca.
It matters where you plant your flag.
And ours? It's planted right here.
Canada is our business.
And .ca is our domain.
So year-long investigation now, still not much information. Do you feel there are people out there that might be able to give you information that could lead you somewhere?
Oh, absolutely. We really would like the public to consider, if they do have any information, real factual-based information, to please contact us at the numbers provided. We seek anything we can find so that we can follow up and find new leads, new avenues to find information.
Jacob Moore with Acadia Broadcasting. What sort of level of new information or new discovery do you need for this to potentially move from a missing persons case to something else, potentially something criminal or suspicious?
Sure. It's hard to really put a label on what exactly we need, as you can imagine. But we just need facts and evidence that support criminality. And once we have that, we make all of our decisions based on the evidence that we collect. Once we have that evidence, then we'll move forward in those areas if that's appropriate.
In your news release this morning, you talked about wanting to have more fact-based tips from the public. Can you tell us what you meant by that, and I have a follow-up?
Sure. I mean, everybody is exposed to social media throughout their daily lives, and sometimes social media can get fairly speculative and sometimes not necessarily based in truth or fact. The information we need isn't necessarily speculation or thoughts or theories. We'd like information that actually points us in a direction to try and find out things that have taken place. So I just find sometimes social media can be a little bit murky. So
on social media, can you talk to us about how, when tips come from that kind of a source, or people are relating tips that they've heard on social media, how the impact that has on the investigation? Because I understand you have to chase those down anyway.
Well, obviously, when we investigate something, we try and gather every piece of information we possibly can about the situation. So when we get a tip, a speculative tip, then we're required, we're duty bound to follow down all leads to either corroborate or uncorroborate that particular tip. So when we get things that really are, very speculative, it creates work for us that, of course, takes away from maybe better areas that we could focus on sometimes. So it just helps for us in our stuff. People consider, is this something that is factual, something the police can find more information on? So does that answer your question? Okay.
What is approaching the 1-year mean for the investigation?
Hmm?
What is approaching the 1-year mark of the investigation? Does it change any of the results of maybe even getting close to finding kids?
Well, we've taken, it's of course been a long investigation. So over the last number of months, we've gone through a lot of the information we have, and of course, we're new leads, but I guess this investigation is always going to take time. There's been a lot of tips, a lot of interviews, and a lot of video that we've had to review. And of course, other avenues of different areas where we want to collect and things. So it takes a long time to go through all that and do it. But that's where the investigation stands.
Bose with Constructive Herald. You mentioned the amount of content you guys had to go through, and I know there's been this kind of rise of AI-generated content. Could you kind of speak a bit more on that? How it's affected the investigation?
Well, obviously, whenever you collect any electronic data, you have to make sure that there's integrity related to that data. So, of course, that creates extra steps. But we have the capabilities in the RCP to deal with those things. So,
Yeah, with Radio Canada. I'll ask my question in English, but if it could be answered in French.
Certainly.
And Michael had already asked, what are we approaching with the 1 year? You said there's nothing new, but what are you hoping to see next, I guess?
We're going to continue to gather whatever information is out there, take any tips from the public and follow up on those, and we'll make our investigative decisions based on those facts.
I can provide that in French if you want, Rob. Alors, en français, vraiment.
I'm not doing that with the French. Good news. I have Harley in. He's good. It's all good. Wow. Also, side note, the GoFundMe created for Parker's family was set to $30,000 and went over the amount set. Wow. Betting Malehya's ex-boyfriend know exactly what. I mean, I also know, but it's nobody's business. Honestly. I know. The name that's out there is not the right name. Okay. One more thing that I wanted to look at today.
Avec l'année qui s'est.
Blah, blah, blah. Is the first that I could find, the first detailed timeline that mainstream media kind of put together for us. Like maybe not the first one, but like the it's very thorough, and it was done in August of last year. Let me just this one. Yeah, like I can't sit up here and say I don't care who wants to use a fake account, blah blah blah, and then go through and bitch about a creator using a channel name or whatever, like I truly don't care, and I don't think it's anybody's business. So this one was poor Harley. It's not even that hot, but the air quality is just for shit today. This one was done August 22nd, 2025 by the Canadian Press. So obviously we know what happened. We've said it probably 10 times today already. And this is the court applications filed by investigators seeking access to a variety of records, including phone, banking records, and video surveillance, all related to the investigation, provide a timeline of the events. The documents were released Friday and include unproven statements made by police in support of those orders. Whatever. The documents were released to a media consortium that includes the Canadian Press. What follows is a timeline of events gleaned from those documents, official police updates, and unproven statements by the police. Is that what he said? It's okay. That's okay. I mean, I'm not even going to repeat how I know what it is, but I know that's not what it is. So maybe the police read it wrong. Like, I don't know. I can't answer for other people. Monday, April 28th and Tuesday, April 29th, both children attended school. Wednesday, the 30th, the children stayed home due to a PD day. I'm going to try to say that word. May 1st, 6:18 a.m., the children's school is informed through an app that both children will stay home because of a cough. 2:25 p.m. on May 1st, an RCMP investigation showed this is the last time the children were independently seen outside of the home caught on a surveillance video at a Dollarama location. May 1st at 9 p.m., Lily and Jack were put to bed, wearing the same clothes that they were in earlier that day. Lily was wearing a pink sweater and pink pajamas with white shapes and a Barbie top. Lily also had a corduroy cream-colored backpack adorned with strawberries. Jack was wearing black sweatpants, a t-shirt, and a diaper, as he was not fully potty trained. So he was wearing a pull-up, according to Daniel and Malehya, right? May 2nd, 6:15 a.m., an alarm went off, and Malehya booked them off sick at school. At some point during the morning, the children woke up their baby sister, but later there was silence in the house. May 2nd, 10:01 a.m., Malehya Brooks Murray reported Lily and Jack missing and believed they had wandered away from the home on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. The mother told police that both children were possibly autistic and known to roam. Did she say they were known to roam? I thought she said that they weren't the type of kids to go off on their own. Their boots were gone. May 2nd, Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather, told RCMP officers that he ran outside, got in his car, and drove around, then ran around in the woods looking for the missing pair for hours. He mentioned to authorities that he did not look at the time or even take his phone during the period. Didn't he say, though, he was using his phone flashlight to look in culverts? Pictou County RCMP officers arrived at the home, according to dispatch information, at 10:27 a.m. May 2nd, 4 p.m., 3 people described as family members found a pink blanket in the woods in a tree on Lansdowne Station Road. The parents identified the blanket as Lily's through a photograph. RCMP officers went and seized the blanket, which was about 1 kilometer from the family home, but a subsequent dog search did not turn up a scent. May 3rd, the mother told police that she and the stepfather had not spoken since she left him to go live with her mother. She had blocked him on social media and not responded to messages. May 3rd at 2:50 p.m., investigators met with 2:50 a.m., investigators met with Cody Sullivan, the children's biological father, after they collected statements questioning whether the children may have accompanied him to New Brunswick. Police say there was no proof, but they wanted to check out every possibility. Sullivan told officers he had not seen the children in approximately 3 years and confirmed they weren't at the home. May 4th at 9:09 p.m., the RCMP said they found another piece of the pink blanket near the family house inside a trash bag at the end of the driveway. Police have said the blanket was being analyzed. May 2nd and May 7th, Ground Search and Rescue conducted a comprehensive search of the area where Jack and Lily went missing. May 7th, the search was scaled back as the RCMP announced there was little chance the siblings could have survived in the woods for that long. May 8th and 9th, RCMP underwater recovery team checked bodies of water in the area of the missing kids' home. On May 8th, 3 ponds were checked. On May 9th, Lansdowne Lake was searched. Nothing was found. May 12th, Daniel Martel and Malehya Brooks Murray both underwent polygraph examinations at Bible Hill RCMP detachment, and both were found to be truthful when answering redacted. In Brooks Murray's case, the polygraph was willingly agreed to eliminate herself as a suspect. And the same for Daniel. Was he not the one that requested it? May 17th to 19th, Ground Search and Rescue conducted a secondary search in and around the residence, but nothing was found related to Jack or Lily. May 28th, police confirmed during a media event that the children were last seen in public with family members 1 day before their disappearance, notably outside the dollar store. June 10th, Janie McKenzie, step-grandmother of the 2 missing children, underwent a polygraph examination at the Bible Hill detachment. June 12th, Cody Sullivan, the children's biological father, underwent a polygraph at the RCMP detachment, whose location is redacted. June 19th, The Nova Scotia government offered a reward of up to $150,000 for information about the missing children. The reward amount was dependent on the investigative value of the information. On July 2nd, Cindy Murray, the children's maternal grandmother, and her boyfriend, identified as Wade Paris, also underwent polygraph examinations, and both were found to be truthful. July 16th, police confirmed that forensic testing was being done on the pink blanket and other unspecified items. An update on the case noted police were sifting through about 5,000 video files and that the public had provided. At this point, police are investigating every aspect of this, a police spokesperson said. August 22nd, the RCMP said in a statement they are still looking at all scenarios and are continuing to receive forensic analysis. To date, more than 760 tips and 8,000 video files have been reviewed by investigators. And safe to say so much more by now, but we haven't gotten like a legitimate update for quite some time. I can't even tell you when the last RCMP or major crimes update that we've had, other than a few words at around like in the new year. I think there might have been some questions around the 1 year mark, but what really stood out to me was that Malehya's statement, "I never thought they would take off on me." Was Malehya talking about the kids or the people that took the kids in that statement? I don't know. We don't get any closer to the truth by silencing people. Agreed. Agreed. Just kind of sifting through. I watch a lot of true crime. 90% of the time it's the parents or someone they know. Yeah. And I mean, that's just the way it normally goes. Like a stranger abduction is so rare. But I think it would be silly to focus on one individual based on statements that don't make sense. Are we focusing in the wrong area? Do we have tunnel vision at this point? And that's I'm just trying to fight. I'm trying to fight my own mind from having that tunnel vision. And I mean, the chatters help me because you come up with all these great talking points. We can discuss all these different things. I think it's great. But with that, you guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. I cannot do a live stream tomorrow, but I do want to do a live stream on Sunday. I would love it if you guys could reach out with your talking points still. Like, I do get good ideas all the time, but the Parker stuff, I think it's been enough time that we can start talking about the timeline in the morning and some of the information that came out directly before little Parker was found, and start looking into that kid's hotel, that day home. I think that Sunday is a good time to start doing that, and hopefully everybody has, refreshed and ready to start fresh looking at this stuff. Okay? So, thank you everybody for being here. If I forgot anything or anybody, chances are I did, but just know that I didn't mean to, and have a great day. Have a wonderful long weekend too. Be safe. Be safe and keep your kids safe. Okay.